Hello, today is Saturday, January 9th, year 2021. Let's do a book review. The Origin of Freemasonry and Knights Templar. It's really good. Let's do it. And this book is compiled by John Richardson Bennett, published by Mason.ca, published of the Ancient Craft, copyrighted in 2020 by Publishing House. This book has a note. Before the table of content, this is what I mean. It says, we cannot understand the actual of a character or a system without in some degree entering into its ideal. The book doesn't have a major chapters. It just goes through, dividing it into subsections. I divided into 5 categories. So, Freemasonry, Fraternity of Builder or Freemasons of Continental Europe, Degree of Freemasonry, Symbolic Degrees, Cryptic Degrees, Knight Templar. And that's the origin. This really surprising book. It has a real good touch. If you are Iranian like me and love history of Iran, it's a lot in Freemasonry. So you may want to read the book, buy the book, read it, self-educate yourself rather than watching those documentaries. I'm not going to use the notion of conspiracy because the notion of conspiracy itself has a merit. But those those documentaries that are besmirching Freemasonry, they are lacking merit, research merit. Okay, all they are doing it. I used to believe those documentaries. Okay, all those documentaries are taking, for example, a piece of image, and they're saying, "Oh, look at it! They're evil. They're doing bad things." It's not like that whatsoever, and that's what I used to think. Freemasons are evil people. But until I self-educated and I joined them. So this book has five categories. I'm saying this is my side. I'm saying some scholars attempt to discover the origin of Freemasonry. Some claim Freemasonry is going back to Adam and Eve. Okay, that's what some people. That's how serious they are about Freemasonry. But they're not fanatic. That's what they think. That's their point of view. Page 14. The true history of Freemasonry is much in its character like the history of a nation. It has its historic and its prehistoric era. In its historic era, the institution can be regularly traced through various entities, associations similar in design and organization to a comparatively remote period. Page 14. I'm not going to go through. Page 14 says this. Page 14 saying that. I'm not making that one. I'm just saying that the essential elements that someone needs to know about what this author is trying to say and have some fun with it. Page 14. We no longer treat Freemasonry under its present organization, which we know did not exist in those days, but of a science peculiar and peculiar only to the mysteries and to Freemasonry, a science which we may call Masonic symbolism, and which constitute the very heartblood of the ancient and modern institution, and give them, while presenting the similarity of form and identity of spirit. You see, Freemasonry believes God can be understood by means of science, grand architect of universe. God is not some, oh my God, God, what is God? We cannot define it, okay? So God created us, that's what they're saying, and there is a reason for God, and for God creating us. So it comes to page 15. Among the most important of the ancient mysteries were the following: the Osiris in Egypt, the Adoshian in Syria, the Mithraism in Persia, the Cabric in Thrace, the Druidical among the Celtic, the Scandinavian among the Gothic, the Dionysian and Eleusinian in Greece. Each of the pagan gods had, beside the public, a secret worship painting to which none were admitted, but those who had been selected by preparatory ceremonies called initiation. I cannot say some of the pagan gods that are being discussed here, pronounce them. I just know Mithraism, but the author wrote Mithrais, something like that. I'm sorry for my pronunciation. I don't mean to disrespect anybody's ethnic background. So, and it comes to page 16. Egypt has been considered the birthplace of the mysteries. That's really good to know for future. It's not nothing anymore in this, but for my own future study about Freemasonry. If you're not a Freemason and want to learn about Freemason ritual, this is an excellent book to buy and read. This book goes into great detail to research how rituals are performed and what those rituals means. Also, when a person enters a Masonic lodge, they see pillars and images which are veiled in allegories. This book explains what those images mean. This is really, I'm not going to go through it. Oh my God, this is what it means. These are the pillars. Or if you have a Freemason certificate, you see 3 pillars and what those pillars means, what those names means, why are they there, who built them. It goes, they're using lots of Jewish history to illustrate what those pillars means, who are the founder. It's really interesting book, and you have seen it in the documentaries, National Geographic, or another one they have made about Freemasonry. You see people that are doing that, so it's really good. The book illustrates how Freemasonry begins to spread throughout European nations like Germany, France, and Italy. Freemasonry begins with craft Freemasonry. Like if you want to become a Freemason, you will start at the craft. Okay, then you branch out. You could go to the other school of thought if you want to pursue. If you don't want to pursue, you don't pursue. So it is your choice. So a craft Freemasonry begins with enter apprentice. So whoever is a Freemason go through these 3 stages. Enter apprentice. The author says it is therefore, although supply no valuable historical information, replete in its lecture with an instruction on the internal structure of the order, and it is typical of youth. Fellowcraft is a stage 2. The author says, for as the first degree was typical of youth, the second is supposed to represent the stage of manhood, and hence the accusation of science is made is prominent characteristic. Its symbols and allegory ceremonies to the purification of the heart, the later is intended by its lesson to cultivate the reasoning faculties and improve the intellectual powers. And craft Freemasonry ends at Master Mason, and you could branch out, go to other level of your journey, or just say, no, I'm just fine, I'm here, Master Mason, that's fine. The author says, Masonic historians have found much difficulty in settling the question as to the time of the invention and composition of the degree. Capitular degree, Mark Master, it teaches us that we should discharge all the duties of cut several station with precision and punctuality, that the work of our hands and the thought of our hearts should be good and true, not sinful and defective, not unfinished and imperfect, but such as the great overseer and judge of heaven and earth will see fit to approve was worthy obtaining from his creatures. Does this sound like Freemasons are Satan worshipping? Or when they are saying Freemasonry is about making a good person better, that's what's mean. Even as a I don't want to reveal much. I like to encourage people to read this book for themselves. When you're going through Master Mason, like you're reaching to the end of your journey over there, they encourage you to be a good person, because at the end you will die. And there's a Persian poem actually that says, what is being left from you is your good reputation or bad reputation. Which one do you want to leave behind for people to remember you? So that's very important. So and that's really coming into a Freemason. So we are talking about Mark Master, Past Master, Most Excellent Master, and that's the role arch really coming down into the picture. Council of Royal and Select Master, Royal Master, Select Master, Super Excellent Master, and talks about, that's really coming to cryptic Masonic is talking. Book of the Law, page 89. Masonically, the Book of Law is that sacred book which is believed by the Masons of any particular religion to contain the revealed will of God, and therefore whatever to any people express that will may be used as a substitute for the Bible in a Masonic lodge. Okay, so this is this book. You're gonna see, oh, Payman made some punctuation mistake. Like I put it in a quotation, and like what I am trying to say on page 39. This is not my writing. Like you could see line, you could see asterisk is coming. I'm like, what is that? And it's a little bit of becomes a question. And we have the Knight Templar, the Red Cross. So the commandery. The Knight Templars are commandery. Page 95. This, I'm not being sarcastic, or I'm not saying, I like it. I like that they have enthusiasm in Freemasonry, and they work really hard to stand for the higher standard of living. That's very important. This degree, whose legend dates it far anterior to the Christian era and in the reign of Darius, has no analogy with the chivalry orders of the knighthood. It is purely Masonic and intimately connected with the Royal Arch degree. And if you're in a Royal Arch degree, it goes back to the Cyrus the Great. In the past, as I mentioned, I thought Freemasons are evil people. For example, the author of this book provides a report. You see, at the time when racism was well spread in European nations, and that is a compile of the papers are written together, they have built a really good report about the faith of Islam, and they're not saying, oh, Muhammad was a horrible person and was evil, was rich, or anything like that. He was a prophet of the God. He did lots of good things for his people and invites people to be a good person. That's all he's doing. It's really good. Now, the origin of Freemasonry and Knights Templar. So I'm like thinking, oh my God, Freemasonry and Knight Templars are interconnected. It talks about the mole. It talks about the whole thing. At the end, on page 125, the author says, the ancient order of Malta has no connection with Masonry whatever, but was properly introduced by Thomas S. Webb as an appendant degree to the Order of Temple, and in this country is confirmed in the Asylum of Commandery, or in a priory regular convent for that purpose. Okay. He says Freemasonry has no connection with the Knight Templar. This was a really good book. I really loved it. I read it. I enjoyed it. And books are meant to encourage us to study further, to expand our knowledge, to learn more what this complex world means to us. It's not a black and white world that we are living in, that okay, it goes in this direction or goes in that direction. I really enjoyed it. Read it. Just read it and explore it for yourself. What does it means? And to me, for a long time before I became a Freemason, I believed that God is science. God is not this vengeful, looking to destroy humankind because we make one mistake. Thank you.